We have the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill, Bill number 18 of 2024. The report is going to be tabled. We have also party or private sponsored bill that's on our visitors, including the media, are guaranteed at all times without any inconvenience, because we have a duty as a House of Parliament to ensure that whatever we do is open to the scrutiny of Kenyans in wherever parts of the world they are through media circulation, media coverage. Thank you. Any question? You have many? Yeah. Oh yes, I've forgotten to inform you that we also have the process of reconstituting the IEBC. You know, the President ascended to the IEBC bill recently. It was a public event at KICC, whereafter the time in 14 days of assent, we must have the selection panel in place. The nominating agencies of the selection panel are Parliamentary Service Commission, that's ourselves. We've already organized, we are going to conduct interviews for the nominated candidates by the majority and minority parties on Friday this week. The Interreligious Council is nominating 2 persons. They will send the names on or before Friday. LSK, the Law Society of Kenya, 1 nominee. We have the ISPAC, the accountants body, nominating 1 person who should be sent to us by the end of the week. And the PPLC, Political Parties Liaison Committee, will be nominating 3. 1 from parties that are not represented in Parliament, and 2 from parties that are represented in Parliament, the majority coalition and the minority coalition. So we hope that by the close of the week, we should have the selection panel list ready to be sent to the President to appoint a chairman out of them, and the rest be gazetted not later than Tuesday next week to start their work. Yes, I'll start with you.
Oh, yes, my name is Emmanuel Tom from Citizen.
Yes, Emmanuel.
Yeah, just a couple of questions quickly. How much was the damage caused by the invasion that we saw in terms of money? Number 2, you said media is free to cover this place, but our colleagues said Olali and Stephen Leto were told their access was suspended. What's the fate of that?
1, the damage caused as assessed by our insurer was about 94 million Kenya shillings. That is the damage we suffered. We had insurance cover, so the insurance is taking steps. Work has started in restoring the damaged buildings and the damaged furniture, TVs, and other equipment within the precincts of Parliament. On the question of your colleagues, this issue came up when I had a meeting, not as myself, but the Parliamentary Service Commission met with the Media Council of Kenya, the Editors Guild, and the Parliamentary Journalists, what do you call it, the one of Haemba Association. Meeting on this issue also came up, and we informed the team that we met that no media house has suffered any and will not suffer any sanctions from Parliament. But we have reports that your colleagues that you have mentioned did not conduct themselves in keeping with the laid down rules and code of conduct and ethical behavior between Parliament as a host and the media houses that cover Parliament. The matter is before the Parliamentary Service Commission and the management boards of senior management in the houses for investigations. While the investigations are going on, it is only fair that we don't prejudice these investigations by asking the two gentlemen to keep away from the precincts of Parliament. That is not asking Royal Media Services to keep away, and that's the reason why you are here without any problem. Actually, I'm told Leto is not affected. It's only Seth Olale who is affected by this investigation, and it's going on. It is not just investigations by parliamentary bodies, but other agencies of government have been brought in because there was a total uproar from members that their security was heavily compromised by the conduct of this particular individual. I don't know him. I have no issues with him, but we have issues with what has been raised that was the conduct of the officer.
Lastly, what is the fate of the 6 cabinet nominees who were brought back? Can they still go through the vetting process? Yes, they were dismissed. And
yes, they will be vetted.
No, not vetting.
Yes.
Can they still occupy public office?
Yes.
Legally?
Yes, they can. If you read the law properly and the Constitution, the persons who cannot occupy public offices are those who have been removed from office on account of violation of Chapter 6 provisions of the Constitution. These cabinet secretaries were simply dismissed. There was no allegation of any wrongdoing against them. They just went with everybody. So they can be given an opportunity to come back. And the history of this country will tell you that many, many people who are removed from office and went back to office.
Okay, maybe you can also clarify when this exercise of vetting is set to begin.
The clock will start ticking when I receive communication from the executive. So far, I have not received any communication from the executive. If we receive the information from the executive today or tomorrow, we'll publish the names to the public as is required under the law. The public will be given an opportunity to send in memorandum, any objections or any accolades, whatever, and we will then thereafter set a date for the vetting. So once we receive communication from the executive, the rollout will be in public. You will see it in the papers that we have now the following people for vetting. Anybody who has any issues, tell us. And the vetting will be on this date.
Yeah, one last 2 questions.
4 out of the 6 are resuming the same topics. They're making this sticky and dry. Would they still be vetted as fresh?
Yes, these are, in law, these are totally fresh appointments. The moment the president, as the head of the executive and the head of government and head of state, pronounced himself that he had dismissed the cabinet, there ceases to be a cabinet. So these appointments are seen as fresh appointments, and they start from where they started when they were first appointed.
The last one from Vincent.
Okay. Speaker, my name is Vincent Apande.
I know you, Vincent.
I just need clarification.
Yes.
You did say that the media personnel will be housed across and right across.
Yes.
So do you have any time frame when we'll be coming back to our media center?
As a matter of fact, the next media center is not going to be this prefab out here. We have a budget, and we have discussed with your leaders whom we met. We have rolled out a state-of-the-art media center. We have identified a suitable location within this parliamentary compound, and we are soon going to tender. And we have been advised that the construction, once the tender process is done, will not take more than 3-4 months. And you will enjoy working here because it's going to be a design of a building with your own contribution on how you can have your equipment, how you can engage among yourselves, how you can conduct interviews. We can have, normally in Parliament, you can have interviews or press statements by a group of members. You may have a press statement from an individual member on a narrow issue, or you may be conducting an interview in the next room, and the big group is in another room issuing their statements. We are going to give you those facilities.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
thank you for that. Now, accessing Parliament even today, even now, was a challenge. Here, coming here. The other rooms, the Bunge Tower, that one is okay. My question would be, we are here because sometimes we need documents, we need aid, we need interviews with members, and accessing Parliament right now, presence of Parliament is a challenge. I don't know, in the meantime, as we wait for the construction of a
new center, yes.
I don't know what are the interim measures we put in place to make it easier for us to access.
There shouldn't be any issue.
It's a challenge.
Because my clerk is here, the clerk of the Senate and the Director General of our services. They have been directed by PSC. And we talked to your president of the Parliamentary Journalists Association, the Editors Guild, and Media Council, that for the security of Parliament, they are going to give you fresh accreditation badges. There should be no hindrance to that at all. You should just walk in. If the design is different with new security features, they'll give you a new one. When you come, you'll enter Parliament like any member of Parliament comes in because you have your badge, you have your security accreditation. So if there was any inconvenience, this is the first time you are coming in to talk to us since the unfortunate events of 3 weeks ago. From now going to the future, you want to come to the table office to get a document, nothing will stop you. You want to come to pick a document in my office as a speaker, nothing will stop you. You want to see the clerk, nothing will stop you.
Thank you. I think the best issue that I want to address, especially masses. But I just have one question, not on the welfare, on the issue that they are talking on what they are raising, but concerning the presidential memorandum that we said we received.
The one on finance bill.
Yes, the finance bill, not specifically finance bill, but the revenue.
Yes.
It says that the president has sent it back. I thought the president had signed that bill into law, and now it was unacted, and that is why the budget estimates were there again. What happens?
Pardon? You see, once you amend the county, once you have a memorandum on the county allocation of revenue, it has a bearing on the division of revenue. So the two are like twins, they go together. So when the division of revenue bill, which was ascended to by the president, was put in focus with the reference back of CARA, then the finance committee and the budget committee have to look at the division of revenue to amend it in line with CARA. You get the point? Yes. Because once you divide between the national government and the county governments, then the bulk goes to the Senate for allocation to each county. Now, if what is allocated shrinks in the division of revenue, then the allocations to the counties must also shrink. Anything else? And I want to repeat, Buanato, there is no media house that is locked out of Parliament or will be locked out of Parliament. When we engage as individuals. If you transgress the law here, it is not Royal Media House that has transgressed the law. If KTN is accredited here and one of your journalists fights with a member or with a fellow journalist, that is not KTN fighting. That is an individual. And everybody carries individual culpability and responsibility, isn't it?